Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So we finally made it. The regular season is up on us. The Houston Texans will be hosting the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday to kick off their regular season for the 2022. And it has been quite mm, not so eventful compared to last off season, obviously, but I would definitely say it's been an interesting one and pretty much an exciting one. To be honest with you, as far as like what it holds for the future. So we finally, what I'm saying, moved on from Deshaun Watson. That was a good deal, in the literal sense, actually, considering all the draft picks we got. But other than that, we did get a new head coach in Lovie Smith. Who seems to be, a more established choice this time around. Um, and it seems like the offense is, serving the staff. The staff has kind of been built up with members from like within the organization. So there's that continuity. Um, that we have going on for the players, for the offensive unit. There's that familiarity that's there, and that means that can definitely help Davis Mills take a step into the right direction coming into his second season. Defense has definitely been rebuilt, revamped, if you will. A couple of key pieces, Jalen Petrie, um, Derek Stingley Jr., both added into both drafted by the Texans this season, and they've been really impressive. Um, to the fan base and to definitely the entire team. Speaking of impressive rookies, Damien Pierce, the running back, he's definitely been somebody that's made a huge splash at training camp. Also, somebody that's made a big impression on everybody in the preseason, and which we'll kind of get into in a few. So that's pretty much what's been going on with this team as far as the offseason goes. Just giving a quick little preseason review. So I mentioned about Davis Mills coming into his second year, and the one thing that stood out to me is that a lot of fans have still kind of been this. They're kind of worried about what they saw in the preseason, and not just from him, but from the entire offense. And quite frankly, I can't blame them. It wasn't the showing that I expected of Davis Mills. And so with Mills, he had a rough start last season in his rookie year. He was just thrown in there, but after he got benched for a couple games, actually after he got relieved of the starting spot for Tyrod in place of Tyrod Taylor, who he was like taking over for due to Taylor's injury. When Mills came back, he actually showed some promise. He showed that he actually learned something. He looked more prepared for the games and everything, and so he really had like he really had like he was really trending upward towards the end of last year. So with the preseason, it's kind of tricky with preseason, because players only get so much time, and especially with the new format where it's 3 games, sometimes that time might get a little bit shortened. So fortunately, he was able to like get a little bit more reps in the second and third game, particularly the third. I think he played the whole half, if I'm not mistaken. But even in but in the first game, I was just kind of ticked out because I was like, this is second year coming up. We really need to see something from him. And he only had like one series, so that was just one of the things I kind of took away from the preseason. Uh, the second thing I took away from it was our defense and our running game was pretty good. And when I mean our running game, I mean Damien Pierce. Um, he was quite impressive, spectacular in the first preseason game. So much so that they benched him in the second preseason game. So while he was apparently fighting for a starting position in week one in preseason week 1. By week 2, it seems like he had already nabbed it, and they were just giving him the starter treatment. Just kind of resting him up before the season comes along, and then they put him in that third game, and so that third preseason game, and he got a little bit more work in there, and did really well in that. A lot of the reports out of training camp was, he's been one of the biggest surprises in camp. So, it's just a pleasant thing to just kind of look forward to as the season comes along, especially after last season when we were just kind of a disaster at running back. Like we just could not get our ground game going. And we had some names back there. We had Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, David Johnson. We had guys back there that actually had some real like uh, running success or ground game success at one point or another in their careers, but they couldn't get it done. And so here we are, with a whole new group. It's led by Pierce. Defense as well. I know Stingley. He kind of came alive. Petrie, he kind of showed up on quite a few. Yeah, he kind of showed up. Definitely, making a few plays, and so I really think this defense is just gonna be like. Let me see. Make sure I got this dude's name right. Okay. So yeah, I just really think my bad. But anyway, I just really think this defense is gonna definitely improve from last year. Uh Running game's gonna definitely be exceptional. Offense overall, um it's still a work in progress, but eventually it'll catch on, and everything will just connect. So that's my preseason review. That's part of my final season outlook. I did predict the Texans to win 6 games this year. Um, like I said, probably should have entangled my preseason review with the season outlook. I think our defense is going to be surprisingly good. They got not just the 2 rookies, but our defensive line. They were just tearing offensive lines up during the preseason, and they were just rotating guys in and out, and every on each level of personnel, whether it's first string, second string, third string, they were just out there winning at the line of scrimmage on the defensive side. So I'm definitely excited to see like what that's gonna bring to this defensive unit this year, and how that's gonna really leverage us some of these wins. Because I feel like out of the 6 wins I predicted, our defense might be able to really be an equalizer in those 6 games, in addition to like the other games that we that I called as losses. But depending on how they play, some of those games that I called as losses might actually turn into W's. So I'm excited to see how that goes. So with that being said, it's time to go ahead and get this thing cracking. Want to talk about what the Texans got to do to win this weekend against the Colts. So first things first, I think clock control is going to be a huge, huge factor for the Texans to win. So, despite the overall performance of the offense, which was kind of underwhelming, I feel like it's preseason. They got something on tape that they can work out. One thing that I did see, I think there was like 1 or 2 drives where they were just kind of mixing the ball around, and just really just extending the drive. So I think that's going to be key for them this weekend. As long as they can, kind of keep the Colts defense on the field and not get the ball back to Matt Ryan, because Colts, they went out, they got Matt Ryan, former Atlanta Falcon Matt Ryan, and he's coming to a team that has Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, just a whole bunch of you know just skill guys, all around them. And so with a quarterback, that that's been in like so many big games, that's what I'm saying, that has a status such as Matt Ryan. Um, I think it's going to be something that's going to be a challenge for our defense. Because this just ain't no ordinary. Just this ain't Carson Wentz. Exactly. So, um, you know what I'm saying? This is a this very talented, accomplished quarterback that really knows what to do in just about any offense, I would imagine. And so he's gonna like putting the ball in his hands too many times. He's gonna find a way. He's gonna get a way to get some points on the board quickly and often. So it's best that we control the offense controls the clock and keeps the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands. Um, Second thing that needs to happen, is probably a given, just slow down Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, I mentioned that we got two key rookies on defense in very crucial positions. We got Stingley playing cornerback, and we have Jalen Petrie playing our safety. So I think it's going to be important that um, we kind of so confusing to say. I think it's going to be important to kind of slow down Jonathan Taylor because I feel like them, even with them knowing that they have these young players in the secondary, I feel like they're going to use Taylor in different ways, not just with running the ball, but maybe with pass catching. Try to get Petrie involved in the tackling and all that. Uh, yeah. So I think they're going to try to just really just wear those two down and just attack their area. But but even with all that, bottom line is I still think they're going to go through Jonathan Taylor just to get some type of run game established because that's pretty much their strength. Last year that was their strength, and even with a new quarterback coming in that's um, probably more likely to throw the ball or be more successful at throwing football than the previous guy. Um, I still think that they go through Taylor, um, just build off their strength. And after that, you'll probably see like a play action or something. So it's best to just kind of stop Jonathan Taylor and just, just yeah, just kind of stop them just so you can like slow down their offense and disrupt them as much as you can. So those are the two things that I just had for this weekend for them to win the game. Control the clock, keep the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands, but also slow down Jonathan Taylor so he doesn't run rambunctiously all over everybody. So that's all I got for y'all this week. My name is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. If you're on if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Like this video and click on that subscribe button. If you're on LinkedIn, um, follow me, connect with me, and all that good stuff. So that's all I got. I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.